Solving radical equations. So, for example, the square root of x plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. Our first step is to isolate the radical, or get the radical by itself. So we're going to do this by subtracting 2 from both sides, and we get the square root of x plus 1 equals 4. Then, square both sides of the equation. If we square the left side, we get just x plus 1. If we square the right-hand side, we get 4. And now we're going to solve for x. So to get x by itself, let's subtract 1 from both sides. X equals 3. Let's get in the habit of checking our answers again. So does the square root of 3 plus 1 plus 2 equal 4? The square root of 4 plus 2, does that equal 4? Yes, it does. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So x equals 3 is our solution. Example 2. The square root of x minus 15 equals 3 minus the square root of x. Okay, so if there is more than one radical, you can isolate either one. We already have one isolated on the left-hand side, so we're going to skip ahead to the second step. Square both sides. So if I square the left-hand side, I just simply get x minus 15. When we square the right-hand side, we have to remember that we are going to need to FOIL this because it's 3 minus the square root of x times 3 minus the square root of x. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative the square root of x is negative 3 radical x. Negative radical x times 3, again negative 3 radical x. Negative radical x times negative radical x plus x. Let's simplify that a little bit. So x minus 15 equals 9 minus 6 radical x plus x. Okay, now we have a new radical. We need to isolate this one now. Let's start by subtracting 9 from both sides. X minus 24 equals negative 6 radical x plus x. Let's subtract x from both sides. Negative 24 equals negative 6 radical x. Now we can divide both sides by negative 6. So 4 equals the square root of x. Now that we've got that radical isolated, let's square both sides. 4 squared is 16. Square root of x squared is x, so x equals 16. But remember, I said we need to check our answers. So check if we substitute 16 in for x, is the original equation true? Is the square root of 16 minus 15 equal to 3 minus the square root of 16? So is the square root of 1 equal to 3 minus 4? No, 1 does not equal negative 1. So there is no solution to this equation. This, x equals 16, is considered an extraneous solution, which, remember, is a solution that does not satisfy the original equation. Okay, let's look at one more example and use our graphing calculators. 1.6 times the square root of x plus 14 equals 8. What we're going to do is enter the left-hand side of this equation into y1 in our graphing calculators, and then enter the right-hand side into y2. And we can do this with any equation. So, in our graphing calculator, y1 equals 1.6 times the square root of x plus 14. y2 equals 8. Then we're going to graph. So in the graph, we need to make sure that the window that we're using to view the graphs allows us to see where the graphs intersect. We can see this. So then we're going to go into the calculate menu. We're going to hit second trace, and then we're going to choose number 5, which is intersect, and then hit enter, enter, enter. And it will find the point of intersection for us. It's right here at x equals 11. So x equals 11 is the solution to our equation.